Hi, and welcome to ScQored. Okay, guys, so today we are going back to 2008, where the ice was cold, the tension was high, and two of the biggest prospects in hockey first crossed paths outside the stadium in Montreal. We're breaking down season one, episode one, Rookies. From Ilya's first standoffish cigarette to the silent competition in the hotel gym, we're exploring how Shane Hollander and Ilya Rozanov began a decade long dance between rivals on the ice and something much more personal behind closed doors. Let's drop the puck.
I like that. Let's drop the puck.
Yes. All right. So, oh my goodness, heated rivalry. Love, love, love the title. I love a good innuendo. Um, but let's dive right into the first meeting and chemistry with how they set the scene in episode one of Rookies. So the cigarette scene. So from their very first interaction outside the stadium, Ilya is going through a hard time trying to light his cigarette. And as soon as Shane walks up, he's able to light his cigarette. Do you think this is a deliberate metaphor for their dynamic that unfolds during the show?
You know what? I never thought about it until you asked this question. But as it goes in scripts and I don't know, literary genre, there's a reason for everything. And so since you picked up on that, then I would have to agree that Shane was his light.
Yes, my goodness, and we know Montreal is freezing cold, and so you outside trying to get your smoke on, and then this little bottom walks up looking all scrumptious. Oh, finally, fire! I loved it. Hello, books, girls, and purrs. Long time no see. We're glad you're here. Yes, so I would agree with you that it's 100% deliberate. I love the fact that it is kind of a foreshadowing to kind of how the relationship unfolds with Ilya and Shane. All right. So the instant fixation. So I don't know how much of a sports fanatic you are. I know I have not been as much involved in hockey until this show. Now it's like, oh, okay, I think I might be a hockey fan now. Is this what they do? This is great. But Ilya tells Shane, you're going down almost immediately. Is this genuine hostility, or was the competitive obsession there from the literal start? So, is it hostile, or it was just this obsession with I guess like the sports? I don't want to say, the competitive nature of the sport.
At the end of the day, they're both guys, right? And so if there's one thing that men understand, it's competition, right? You've got to be the best at all times, especially when you know that you're being pitted against someone else. You're going to let them know that you're better than them, even if you're not certain, right? And that's just the nature of it, And we could put, like most men can put that rivalry aside and deal with a person all on their own. Right. And it was no different for the two of them.
A proverbial pissing contest. I love a good pissing contest. All right. We'll get into it a little bit earlier. I had some questions about like the steamiest scenes and the overall sex appeal for each of the characters, but we can get there later, or we can go there now on ScQored.
So for me, it was, I no lie. Like, like when you're watching something for the first time, you're like, do I want to keep on watching this? Do I really want to keep on watching this? And so it was like, okay, they're finally going to have sex. And then it was that one time, it was the second time that they were in the room together, and all you saw was Ilya's ass. And I was like, hold up, wait a minute. Rewild.
This was a really sexy show. This is a really, really sexy show, and I feel like, I mean, obviously the hockey, but they had a really, really attractive cast, and so I appreciated that. So there were a lot of steamy scenes on here for me as well.
Another good one was when they were in the shower room and Ilya started jacking off, and I was
like, I gotta start working out.
I couldn't believe it. Like, how forward can you get? Like, I've never even imagined anything like that, right? And they put that on screen, and it was just like, oh my god, like that was it.
I was not upset because at first when I started watching the show, I was like, a little lackluster. What's going on here? Oh wait, hey, hold on. Spin bikes. Okay, now I'm in. What's going on? Oh, okay. And so definitely on this show. So speaking of the spin bikes, the gym standoff. So what do you think of the choice to have their first like high tension moment involve a silent competition on these stationary bikes? Did you feel like there was a lack of did the lack of dialogue make the chemistry stronger?
You know what? It was, again, it goes back to that natural competition between men. Like, I understood that. Like, I can't tell you how many different times I've been at I've been working out, like I'm listening to my music, and then all of a sudden someone gets on like right next to me. I gotta overperform. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just it is what it is. So to me, like, it was cute. It was just cute. It was relatable, to be honest. It was very
enjoyed it because, like, of course dialogue is important, but silence to me speaks volumes. And so watching them silently compete against each other, to me, that was really, really sexy. And so this was before I even realized, of course, what was going on, because I didn't have any background knowledge on the show, anything at all. I just dove right in, didn't Google anything, didn't watch any things.
Quite unlike you.
Nothing. So I just went in blind. And so I'm like, okay. And Annie and I watched it together, which is it's very rare that we finish anything together. But we were watching, and I'm like, she swore up and down the guy that she had seen the show before, that it had already come out, and I'm like, this is the new show. This is the new show. Now I didn't know that there was a book.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Several.
She had sworn to God that it was a foreign film before. She'd seen it. She understood the plot and everything. And I'm like, no. But nonetheless, we did get through the show. So again, me having zero knowledge of what's going to happen. So I'm like, okay, I'm picking up on some homoerotic undertones. Okay, now they're overtones. Whoa. And so it was really a nice free fall to not have Googled anything, to just enjoy the show at face value. So we're going to get into the character backgrounds and some of the pressures just a little bit. So of course we have until as old as time. We've seen it done over and over again. You have the golden child versus the rebel. You have Shane and you have Ilya. And the question is, how does the show immediately contrast Shane's supportive but high-pressure parents with Ilya's verbally abusive father and brother?
Oh, I mean, it was right there in your face. Like, you could not deny what you were seeing. You even got the impression in episode 1 that if Shane told his parents would understand and be cool with it. Like, even though those words never came out, it was just the way that they loved on him, that it was clear. Like, the dad, for instance, the dad didn't give a damn about hockey. He gave a damn about his son. You understand? You understand? Like, right. The mom loved hockey. The dad didn't give a damn. The dad loved his son. Whereas, with Ilya, his dad and his brother only wanted the money. His dad only wanted the acclaim that came with what Ilya was able to do for Russia. You know what I'm saying? And then how that impacted him and his life. And so, yeah, it was very in your face. Couldn't deny it.
To me,
And his dad was in his own way verbally abusive, even in episode 1. That was very clear.
It makes you empathize with Ilya for being a douchebag, the way he presents, because it's like, okay, oh, I get it. You carrying the weight of
Learned
so many
behavior.
things, right? And so this was something that I found interesting, and I don't know if you picked up on it or if this was something. Well, obviously, because I know you're super invested in this show. With Shane being neurodivergent, like that was a conversation that obviously has been happening a lot, and I was like, oh, okay. So how do we feel about that?
Well, this is what I would say. When I first saw the episode 1, I was like, I really like Ilya, but I'm more like Shane. It was very clear to me. And I told you once, I took that little test and have touch of autism.
Everybody's autistic.
But at the time, like, I had no clue, because I was in a lot of ways, I was just like you. All I knew was that HBO had this show and they had 2 men on the cover and it looked like they were about to kiss. And like sometimes it makes it look like they're about to kiss, but on this one it was like, oh no, they're about to kiss.
A lot more than that.
So that was the reason why I started watching it, and then I just got into it. I got into it. I was hooked.
There were a lot of things happening in this show, and some of it I didn't pick up on initially, and so one of the other topics of interest for me was the fact that they addressed Shane being Asian Canadian, and basically kind of paving the way and all of these things like that. And so not something uncommon, dealing with ethnicity and, breaking ceilings and all of that. So I didn't hate the fact that they went there with it. What are your thoughts?
It was obvious. I mean, you couldn't deny it. You know what I'm saying? This is an Asian Canadian, excuse me, I should say, in Canada, and you don't have a whole lot of Asians playing hockey in general. And so, yeah, he's there and he has the face. So why not exploit it? Like that. You could look at his talent, but you could also look at his ethnicity as well. And by exploiting it, you're actually doing a good thing, because now it's opening up this whole world of hockey to other Asians/Asian Americans. And why not? Like, open it up. I didn't have a problem with it.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it at all. Like, I was like, okay, all right. So the first night in this relationship,
Books, girls, and purses, that she's gained zero hockey knowledge from watching the show.
Guess what? You know what? I dropped a puck. I dropped a puck too, but I'm tuned in. I am tuned in. I'm gonna go get a Rozanov jersey, and I am going to go and get a Hollander jersey. Books, girls, and purse. I'm gonna do it. Trust me. So let's talk about the power dynamic between Ilya and Shane, as it pertains to the sexual nature. So when they have their first sexual encounter, Ilya pretty much takes the lead because Shane is very inexperienced, obviously. How do you feel this sets the tone for their give and take relationship throughout the season, without giving any spoilers, of course, since we're only covering the rookies episode?
So when you're very new to the lifestyle, it's like your Bambi, right? You have absolutely no clue what the hell is going on. Like it was even in episode 1, it was very clear that Shane didn't know how to give fellatio. So you know,
He says, "Let me show you how this is done."
yes, you know what I'm saying. And so in a lot of ways, Shane does have to acquiesce, if you will, to Ilya, um, sexually. But there's more to a man than just sex.
I felt like Lestat with Louis. Louis say he was being hunted. I felt like Shane was being hunted. The perspective. Oh my goodness.
But there's a question. Was Shane really being hunted, or was he allowing himself to be hunted? Because it was Shane who made the first move.
He was definitely not being hunted. He was a willing vessel. He threw some pebbles out there to give the illusion of being the fawn or the doe or the prey. He gave that illusion. I know it well. I know that play well. I wrote it. I promise you. Oh my God. Just doe-eyed and just clueless. Ain't complete predator. Okay. So, but all right.
Now, I just to add on to what you just said, I think that Shane didn't know how to go about doing anything really, and so the easiest thing that he could do was to play it off like, "Hey, man, you know, like I'm impressed with your skills and da 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 da." But really, he saw someone that he thought was attractive. Now, I've read the books. Shane thought that Ilya was attractive. Right now, he didn't necessarily approach Ilya thinking, "Oh, I want to have sex with this man." He honestly thought that Ilya was straight. Right? He really did. Now, Ilya picked up that Shane had to have been gay, and he picked up on it like that. If you read the books, you realize that Ilya is very perceptive, very, very, very perceptive.
Look, I was here for it all, baby. Season 1, episode 1 could have went a little longer for me. All right. So when they have this press conference, they have this little under the table moment. Wait, hold on. Ilya trying to act like Shane didn't last long, but Ilya didn't last much longer. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? That is a fact. And I was thinking the same thing because I rewatched it on my lunch break today. And I was like, okay, when he got there and showed him how it was done, quote unquote, I'm like, to me, it was like the same amount of seconds. So, girls and purrs is not wrong. I agree with you 100%. Jermaine is about to fall out of his chair and books girls and purrs.
I'm laughing because I thought the exact same thing. It was just that Ilya was, in my mind, Ilya was the first one to comment, but nah, they you know.
I would say it was a stalemate, 100%. So when they had the press conference, do you feel like that was a pivotal moment where the relationship between Ilya and Shane got a little bit deeper because Ilya was struggling to get out his words and express himself, and Shane kind of took over, and they had this little exchange under the table, so to speak, so that they kind of make things more than just a fling.
It was the fact that they shared each other intimately, if you will, and so there's a certain level of closeness between the two of them, or I should say maybe not closeness, but at least a certain level of trust between the two of them. And Shane recognizing what he was seeing from Ilya in that moment, he basically he rushed and he came to the aid of Ilya, and Ilya quickly understood what Shane was doing for him, and I think the fact that Shane was willing to do that bridged the gap between the two of them a lot faster than it would have happened naturally.
I like that. And as a person that loves sports, most, not all, to me, that was like the ultimate show of sportsmanship, right? Like, although this is your rival, so to speak, and you could have took that moment to like literally just beat him across the head and, you know, ostracize him. You took it as an opportunity to, like you say, bridge the gap, make him feel more comfortable. And I love that. I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, so uh, I know it starts like in 2008, and we kind of see things unfold as we watch the show. But when they save each other's numbers, but they changed the names, and so there's Jane and Lily.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does this feel like a fun spy element, or does it highlight how dangerous their secret can actually be in the pro sports world at this time?
You know what? I'm gonna do a you both. Um, so look, so number one, this is like 2008, right? Okay,
Mhm.
so yeah, things have progressed. It's now 2026, but back then, especially if you're playing major sports, no, we've got to hide. We can't, come out. We can't do all the other good stuff. Um, so and just thinking back to my days, like I totally got like it made perfect sense to me. um, so everything they did again, as I said, like it made perfect sense, and I wasn't mad at what I saw. I know that a lot of people, felt some kind of way like, why would you hide? That there's no need to hide. But again, it's 2008. It's, they are major sports stars and rivals.
That part, because the mom is, she ain't going. She like f him, f him, f him, f him. She cannot stand
Hmm.
Ilya. She is really, really deep off into the sports world. She's his uh manager, so to speak. Her son or
Hmm.
nephew.
Momager.
Nephew. Say it again. Yes, momager. Yes. That has got to be horrible. Good Jesus. I would never want my mom to be my manager of anything. My God.
He must really love his parents. In
Got
order
to.
for that to work, he must really love his parents, or I should say his mom.
My goodness. All right. Um, so um based on like the earlier interactions, who do you think holds the power? We kind of talked about this a little bit back there.
Who holds the power? I think it's situational between the two of them. Um, Again, so when you're talking about sex, yes, I think Ilya holds the power right now.
And he can
Um,
okay.
of course, I've seen the show. The dynamics change a little bit. Um, I think in terms of how should I say this? In terms of expressing themselves, I think Shane was the clear runner. I'm sorry, I can't get those words out. He was able to express himself about what he wanted, except when when he thought that Ilya was done having sex, um, and Shane didn't get to climax. So he was just like, are you kidding me? Are you joking or whatever it was that he said? That was all that he was able to get out. He couldn't get that part out, but definitely his frustration was shown in that particular moment. Um, but then again, it went to the fact that Shane was not Shane. Ilya was in charge sexually. Um, but yeah, in terms of episode one, I think that's about where they are. Also, when Shane won, what was it, Rookie of the Year, and
Ilya.
Shane basically wanted to spend a night with Ilya, and the two of them didn't understand each other. And at that particular point in time, Shane had absolutely no idea. Number one, about the strictness of Russia
Mm-hmm.
or his family dynamics. And without knowing those two pieces of information, it kind of left Shane in the dark. And so in that sense, Ilya was kind of like in charge because Shane had absolutely no clue why Ilya was brushing him off.
I was glad that he, no pun intended, exploded on him. Um, because he was like, not everything is about you, Hollander. Because he is the again proverbial good guy, just clean cut, all the things. And so I'm glad that he, even though he's, you're Lestat, you're kind of bad guy, you need to stay away from, so to speak, that he was bold enough to say not everything is about you. Like there's more at play here. So it kind of dipped the toe in of him showing some emotion as opposed to him just being an ass.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciated that piece.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel about their on ice rivalry as opposed to their off ice obsession? Like to me, it's like, you're my little secret, and so like we have this
You know what I loved? I loved when like at the end of every game when one team won and the other one lost, and they were like, like, hey, I'll see you next week, or I'll see you whenever, and then the other one, whoever lost, was like, they were just dejected, like, oh my god. I absolutely loved it because it made sense to me. It absolutely made sense to me. I don't know why I did, but it just did. It felt real. It felt honest, and I was here for every second that I saw. Now, in terms of them actually playing, like I was learning the sport as I watched, because it wasn't the type of sport that I like really watched as a kid, and definitely as an adult. But I'm much like you, having watched this show and reading the books and other books that are similarly themed. I've really gotten into hockey. I've really gotten into it.
Okay. I told you I got to get me some jerseys, even if it is from the fictional characters. We'll start there. All right. So the closet, or being in the closet in pro sports, we talked about it quite a bit. Just not at length. So the show pretty much establishes it early on that no one's really openly gay in hockey, right? In 2008, we talked about that. So do you feel like the pilot episode Rookies, like how does the pilot handle the stakes of their secret relationship in the pilot episode?
Well, just the fact that they had to hide in all the different ways that they had to hide. I mean, we talked about them changing their names and their cell phones. The fact that what was his name, Scott Hunter, is right next door to Ilya, and Shane basically had to like kind of like run inside as soon as Ilya opened the door. All of those little things. Again, all of those things, like it was like flashbacks for me. It was like, oh my god, like this is real. This is really real. And the fact that a woman wrote this book, like how did you know? How do you know these things?
Ultra involved, okay, nosy like me. Okay, I want to know. I want to know everything. How does it work? What do we do? Okay, I want to know.
But no, and then again, just to restate what I've said before, the fact that they were rivals, if you will, that added another layer. Rivals from another team, so your teams have a natural rivalry, and then the two of you have a rivalry, and it goes all the way back to how you got into the sport. And then who's gonna be rookie of the year, and all of this other good stuff. The is Was the Olympics in episode one? I don't remember if the Olympics was in episode. Was the Olympics in episode one?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, all of that playing itself out. There was reason enough to hide it, even like from the optics of it. Even if they weren't breaking any rules whatsoever, it looked bad.
So I don't have any more in-depth questions, but Before we get into the overall rating of season one, episode one, Rookies of Heated Rivalry, any famous quotes that stood out in this episode for you?
Nah,
Even if
I'm not
yes,
good when it comes to like remembering quotes and shit like that.
even if loosely referenced.
Now, if we talking about like scenes and what they look like and what they did, oh, I can talk about that. But I can't tell you everything that they said and all that. No, no. This is one thing that I will say. He Both of them had teammates that I could sense they were close with. And from episode one, I wondered early on, how would their teammates react if and when they came out? That was like a concern for me. It was a genuine concern, and I didn't know how it would play out. And so, yeah, that all throughout, that was one thing that was on my mind.
What stood out for me is the fact that I don't know, for me, Ilya is like a mortal version of Lestat. And I know I just have this obsession with Lestat. I will not let it go. I find a way to just weave interview into every single thing that we talk about. I might go to therapy for it. Regardless. Regardless. I love how he kind of picks at Shane and calls him boring
Mm-hmm.
every
Mm-hmm.
chance that he gets. And so that resonates with me, like finding that partner or person that gets you out of your comfort zone. Although these are things that you want to do and try anyway, just having that person that's just whispered in your ear, do it. Okay, you sure? All right, don't tell anybody. All right, I'm not gonna tell anybody. And so I did appreciate that, just to kind of teasing and picking again, heated rivalry, right? So there's that,
Mm-hmm.
but I do love the teasing element throughout this show in general. You know what? I don't know. I don't know. It just depends on which Ilya showed up that day. Books, girls, and purrs. I don't know. He might drop them.
No, that would never happen. That would never happen. I don't care how mad Ilya got at Shane. That would never happen. And you know what? So this is what's wrong with having read the books. I know too much. For instance, you were just talking about the fact that Ilya called Shane boring, but believe it or not, that was something that he actually loved about Shane. The fact that Shane was boring, he loved that because of the situation that he grew up in. All he saw was toxicity. But from Shane, he saw normalcy. He saw stability. He saw someone that he could actually live his life with. And so, no, Ilya would never, ever, ever do that to Shane. Wouldn't happen.
Look, I told you I need to go to therapy behind the stat. It's just messing with my head. All right, from Mayfair to 10, your overall rating of the first episode, the pilot episode, Rookies.
Okay, so here's the thing. I can't give it a 10. And let me tell you why I can't give it a 10. Even though when I first saw episode one, I was like, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. And I saw episode one and two at the same time. I ain't lying to you. I couldn't wait for episode two. All right. So I have to give it an 8. And here is why. Episode 3 came, episode 5 came, and episode 6 came. I cannot give episode 1 anything higher than an 8.
Okay, well, yes, he simps for his boring bottom. You are so funny. I think a strong 8 is amazing. As much as I enjoyed it, to me it was a 7. Um, all pun intended, there was so much more room to grow, right? I, watching it with fresh eyes, didn't know what to expect, not a clue what was going on. A bit of a slow burn initially for me, again, because I'm not realizing where it's going. I don't mind going down a rabbit hole though. That's cool. I enjoy the journey. Um, and so like the time jumps and things like that. Sometimes, okay, for a person like me, I can get a little distracted, so to speak, from the plot or where we're going. So that's why I would say Rookies, for me, the breakout episode was about a 7. So not enough to discourage me from continuing to watch. Definitely not Mayfair. But as you mentioned, some of the other episodes, like, oh my God, I gotta see this through. It just gets better and better, which is amazing. So definitely a strong 7 for me.
So, okay. So one question that I have for you. What episodes are you like salivating to cover?
So I cannot give you the number.
Okay.
But I can give you I don't want to say the content, but I bet you can pretty much guess. So I'm going to say the Scott Hunter episode.
Really?
Yes.
Can I tell you? Okay, so when I saw, that's episode 3. When I saw episode 3, I cried like a bitch. It was just nothing but tears. It was true tears. It was true tears. I kid you not. Like, I was like, are we gonna get more Scott Hunter? Are we gonna get more Kip?
Like, please, midnight Texas me right now, because I need more of this man. I need more of it. Yes. So the Scott Hunter episodes 100% did it for me. Like that whole, like, I love the fact that they took it there. So we're gonna get there. We are gonna get there. We're gonna get there. It's episode 1, but yes, those, all of the Scott Hunter episodes, all of them, every last one.
So I guess the crescendo for Scott Hunter episodes was actually episode 5, because it was kind of like the ending of their storyline was episode 5.
And for me, I guess like the overarching theme, or what is problematic in sports, like the way that they addressed it, and it just kind of carried the whole just overall just theme of the show. Like it tied everything together when they introduced Scott Hunter and that whole storyline. It just brought everything together. And so I guess that's why I'm just kind of like salivating over that. And hell, he's sexy as hell. Can't go wrong there.
I ain't gonna lie, it was Kit for me. I was like, that little shark boy, come on.
Making them juices.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on this installment of our podcast, ScQored, covering Rookies, episode 1 of Heated Rivalry. Join us next week for episode 2 of Heated Rivalry. Let's see if we can drop the puck once more.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share on all your social media. Until next time, see you.